And welcome everybody to episode 6 of the Animanicast.
I want you to take a letter.
Where do you want me to take it?
No. I mean, I want you to write a letter.
Okay. Dear Santa, I have been ever so good this year. I would like a new mallet and a shiny brass anvil.
No. Write a letter for me.
Well, I don't know what you want for Christmas.
We are a podcast dedicated to the animated television series Animaniacs. Each and every episode, we talk about an episode of the series. We discuss the cultural references and gags. We share our memories of first watching the episode. And in the end, we give each and every episode a water tower rating. I'm Joey, and joining me once again are my co-host, the lovely Nathan.
Thank you.
And even more lovely is Kelly.
Hello.
And today's episode is episode 6 of Animaniacs, which first aired on September 20th, 1993. And we have a lot of different segments to go over today. Some pretty, I would say, dare I say, zany segments to go over. Cockamamie, perhaps. So what are our thoughts about this episode before we get started? Obviously we're not giving our water tower rating or anything right now, but just general thoughts, feelings about this particular episode today.
10 out of 10.
I was very, very sad because this particular episode did not have Steven Spielberg in it.
Oh.
Yeah, what? I thought he was going to be I thought he was going to be a recurring character.
I wish. Oh my goodness.
That's what the last episode made me think.
Well, no, he wasn't.
Well, that was 2 episodes ago.
That was 2 episodes ago, but we have you're kind of like in this general atmosphere of you're in a movie studio, so you kind of expect like if Mel Gibson's coming back, well, we should have other people coming back, but no, that's right. Steven Spielberg did not come back, but we do have other. Yes, but we do have other segments here that are still very nice, even without Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
Now, starting off this episode, we have a quick segment that's just called Flipper Parody. It's the Animaniacs, and they are they're singing and they're swimming to kind of a take on the Flipper theme.
Yeah.
Which is, they call him Flipper.
Faster than lightning. Wait, is that right?
I don't know.
Sounds right.
Sounds good to me.
They call him Flipper, faster than lightning. No one you see is smarter than he. And we know Flipper lives in a world full of wonder, lying there under the sea.
I never watched the show.
Yeah, I knew it was on when I was young on Nickelodeon. They had, instead of showing the shows that they have now, they showed Flipper, My 3 Sons. They showed Dennis the Menace. They showed a lot of reruns from the 1950s and 60s, and this is back in the 1980s. And I just remember watching a little bit of Flipper and going, the show's kind of boring. I don't really like the show.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for Mr. Wizard's World, followed by Flipper, right here on Nick.
Kelly, did you ever see Flipper at all growing up?
I remember the opening and the theme song. I don't think I really watched the show much. It basically seemed to be a version of Lassie, but with dolphins.
Yeah, it kind of goes to the theme of this week's episode, though, too, because we have Mindy and Buttons, which is a take on the Lassie television show as well. So I guess it fits in pretty well with the general theme, but it was kind of a cute little song. I don't think it's featured on any of the CDs that I own, at least, but there you go. Flipper parody. That was different, Nathan, than
Yeah,
Newsreel of the
It
Stars.
was a nice intro. It was nice.
So there you go.
I like their squeaking at the end.
That's right. They did a little back swim thing, which was cute
While
to
they're
see.
laughing. Yeah.
Yeah. But it goes into the Animaniacs theme song, and they are cockamamie today is their little variant.
Cockamamie.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to, one thing I have been meaning to ask you guys since we've started about the theme song is this. At one point in the song, they say,
We have pay or play contracts.
now, Nathan, do you know what a pay or play contract is?
You either pay or we play.
See, Nathan, you should know this because your wife is an actress.
Yes.
And she may have to sign pay or play contracts someday. Kelly, do you know what a pay or play contract is?
Not entirely. I think I vaguely remember looking it up as a result of this song.
Exactly.
But I don't exactly remember what it is.
Okay. It was kind of driving me nuts because I was going, okay, I remember knowing this a while ago, and then I totally forgot it. So this is what a pay or play contract is, at least under my understanding.
Googling.
And I may be completely wrong. So listeners, if I'm completely wrong, please
Tweet us.
and
Correct us.
tell me, Joey, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about, and here's why. But then by the time you finish that, you'll run out of 140 characters, and you won't be able to tell me the answer.
Joke's on you.
But anyway, pay or play contract is basically this. You pay somebody whether or not they're actually in the movie that you're going to be in. So, for example, this is like in the movie The Untouchables. Here's a real world example.
Okay.
In the movie Untouchables, the part of Al Capone is played by Robert De Niro. Originally, they wanted him, and then he couldn't do it, so they went to Bob Hoskins to play Al Capone instead. And, Bob Hoskins signed. He said, yes, I'll be Al Capone. And then it turned out Robert De Niro could be Al Capone. And he came back and said, okay, I'll do it. So they said, oh, okay, so, here you go, Mr. Hoskins. Sorry, you can't be in it, but here you go. You're going to get X amount of thousands of dollars or whatever instead of being in the movie. So that's basically it.
So it's good. You want a pay or play contract.
Yes. So whether or not they decide to go with somebody else at the end, you're still getting paid. So that's why it's a good thing. That's why the Animaniacs are all happy that even, Pinky and the Brain, for example, they still got paid in today's episode.
Even though they weren't in it.
Exactly. So and Minerva Mink, boy, she got paid a lot. So,
well, we don't know what their rates were, so.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I would hope Minerva wasn't paid that much, but who knows? She's pretty stuck up, I think. She probably demanded a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to get into Minerva right now. We'll talk about her at some point. But so that's a pay or play contract there. We have a few different segments to go over today. First one is called Temporary Insanity. This is written by Paul Rugg, and it's directed by Michael Gerard. And Kelly, do you mind giving us just a quick synopsis in your words of what this segment was basically about? Kelly, can you hear me? Kelly?
Oh, sorry, I was eating Cheez-Its and had the mute button on. Basically...
We're keeping that in, by the way.
That's fine.
Okay, good.
Thaddeus Plotz, the secretary, or administrative assistant, if you will, has a cold or something. She's sick, and so she goes home and tells him to hire a temp to come in and take care of things. And so he calls a number, but he inadvertently calls the Warner Brothers and the sister. And they come in, and chaos ensues. And he instantly regrets calling anyone. And he has a really bad day at work.
Yes.
That's it in a nutshell. I mean, there's a lot more, but
yeah, exactly.
That's the basic premise. premise.
Yeah, there's a whole thing of answering the calls and taking a letter and that trying to, but eventually the whole place collapses and what the secretary calls at the very end. And it turns out that she's going to be sick for one more day. And oh no, but the Animaniacs at the end, they're very happy and they wave to everybody who was watching. They wave goodbye to everybody. So that's very cute. So what are your thoughts about this segment, Nathan?
I enjoyed it. I think it's a classic comedy premise. The Simpsons did an episode like it with Homer the Smithers.
Oh yeah.
It was a funny episode there too.
I forgot about that. What was that? Was Smithers was
Smithers got went to a gay resort, I think, for vacation.
Well, Burns didn't know that at the time. He was just on vacation.
Well, yeah. So he needed to hire a replacement that wouldn't be very good because he didn't want to be replaced. So
okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Yes, it's coming back to me.
Good Lord, Smithers, you look atrocious. I thought I told you to take a vacation.
Smithers already left, sir. I'm his replacement, Homer Simpson.
Ah, yes, Simpson. I'll have my lunch now. A single pillow of shredded wheat, some steamed toast, and a dodo egg.
But I think the dodo went extinct.
Get going!
Here are your messages. You have 30 minutes to move your car. You have 10 minutes. Your car has been impounded. Your car has been crushed into a cube. You have 30 minutes to move your cube. Hello, Mr. Burns' office.
Is it about my cube?
Orange is the New Black, this season that just came out.
Oh.
They have an episode or two where one of the convicts becomes his secretary. It's funny stuff. So I was thinking about all that when I was watching it again. I'm like, oh, yes.
Okay, so it is kind of a classic concept. I guess, Kelly, what are your thoughts on this segment?
I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. It had a real fast pace. There was so many things in it. Lots of references from the pictures on the walls. There were references to other skits or scenes and movies. There were, we got to see the water tower again, the interior of it, and it was vastly different from the last time we saw the water tower. I can't even remember everything that was in it. I think there was...
There's still a roller coaster.
Yeah. And it looks like a really cool place to hang out. I don't know why they keep leaving the water tower personally.
Exactly.
Why escape?
Actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, Kelly, Nathan, I have... when we saw the Animaniacs back in the 90s, when you were a kid, I forget the exact age, there was nothing else to sign. We were literally at the end of the line. We were like the last people to see.
Yeah.
And all the merchandise had basically been bought for them to sign. So Rob Paulson was very much like, we got to find something for them to sign. So he told the Warner Brothers store employees to find something, and they were able to find a postcard sized, print of the water tower, and it was from this scene, showing the Animaniacs on that little train or roller coaster, or whatever, and they all signed it, and I believe they said they put it out to you, Nathan.
Happy birthday, me.
Yeah, and I have it at my house, and I totally forgot to bring it over.
Oh.
I was going to unveil it to you, and I'm a bad brother, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
Now you're a bad brother.
Well, anyway, so that's cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on that wall. Kelly, you mentioned the stuff on the pictures on the wall. There was there was Batman.
Yeah, from the animated series.
Yep.
Yes, which was...
And Buster Bunny.
Uh-huh. And we had Hampton. It was up there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And there was one more Tiny Toon up there. Did you see who it was?
I missed it.
Elmira. That's who else said. Did anyone else catch anything else? I think those were the main people.
Yeah, that's all I saw.
So, yeah, so there's some cool stuff. And also when we go into that water tower, that's where I kind of had to really look and see what these posters were on the walls. Because there's that Bugs Bunny phone, which looks very similar to a Mickey Mouse phone, the classic Mickey Mouse phone of holding the receiver.
Standing
but
up
instead it's Bugs Bunny. But the posters on there have little things like what I'm assuming are prints or posters of the original Warner Brothers pictures. So there was an Aunt Miss Beehiven.
Okay.
Ain't misbehaving. Ain't misbehaving, but ain't misbehaving. Uh-huh. And
Funny.
there was footsie, you smell. Do you know what that's a parody of, Nathan?
No.
Kelly?
There's like a song or something.
Yeah.
Tootsie goodbye.
There you go. Tootsie goodbye.
You smell.
No. And there was another one called Oi, my rash, which is okay. Just as things as is Oi, my rash. And the one that was in the way background that I had to really look at, there's one that says, I believe it says globos de carne, which is Spanish. And when I translated that, it looks like it says meat balloons. I have no idea why, but if you look at at least that's what I think it might be cut off.
Meatballs?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe it's a parody of the movie Meatballs, perhaps, like a take on that title. But meat balloons is what it came to, and I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Globos de carne. So there you go.
I don't know.
Very weird stuff going on in that water tower. I don't know. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that happens when they go into Mr. Plotz's office. There's a lot of cool stuff, including I know one of the things that stands out to me right away is the typewriter scene, and when Yakko is typing on an invisible typewriter, and Dot meanwhile is filing the papers and filing them down like into the ground so there's nothing there, which I think that's hilarious. And Wacko is X-raying himself on making copies, like 1 billion copies on the machine until it can't stop, so he smashes it with his mallet that turns huge. But I right away I thought, oh, that's a reference to Jerry Lewis and his typewriter scene from Who's Minding the Store. And I watched the scene today and on YouTube, and I was like, oh yeah, see, Yakko's doing kind of like the Jerry Lewis kind of faces. Jerry Lewis does this thing where he looks off into space and kind of just weird smiles and goofy grins and stuff. And Paul Rugg is the writer of this, who again is the voice of Freakazoid, the voice of Mr. Director on the show. I really get the strong feeling that he is a huge Jerry Lewis fan.
Oh yeah.
Just based off of
impressions that he does
constantly.
Yeah.
But Kelly, you were telling that this is actually, I kind of assumed that this had its origins in Jerry Lewis's film, but it actually is, the song predates the movie by about 13 years, I believe. Do you have that information on hand of when this actually came to be, or when?
The song I think was in 1950. First performed by the Boston Pops, apparently.
Yes, which I know that probably stuck out for you being a John Williams fan.
Yes, it did.
Which is,
I'm gonna go see the Boston Pops and John Williams at Tanglewood in August. Not excited.
That's great.
#Maestro, yay.
That's amazing. I'd love one of these. I'd love to see John Williams in concert one day soon. I hope. I don't know.
He's amazing. It's a life altering experience. It's transcendental.
So there you go. So there's our little orchestra. Origin right there.
Hello, Mel.
Mel Gibson has his little cameo right there once again, where Dot is, going up. Oh, Mel Gibson, and she says to him at one point,
"Didn't I meet you on a summer cruise?"
I've never been on a summer cruise.
Wanna go on one? I have tickets.
Yeah, is that from producers or?
It is.
Okay.
There's, he goes, "I've never been on a summer cruise." And to me, I was listening to that line and I was going, what is that from? And like Nathan said, it's from The Producers. Have you ever seen that Mel Brooks movie, Kelly?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. It is one of Mel Brooks's earlier films and one of his best films. Of course, I mean, it came to be a musical later.
Yeah, there's...
I need to familiarize myself with that. I hear it's good.
Yeah, this is the original Gene Wilder and Zero Mostel version. And at one point, Gene Wilder they go to meet the director of their musical, Springtime for Hitler.
Yes.
And they see the director, and he's dressed in drag, and he's actually the actor who would later play Mr. Belvedere on TV. Oh, wow. But he's much thinner back then, and he stares into his eyes and goes,
"Didn't I meet you on a summer cruise?" "I've never been on a summer cruise." "Huh. Quel dommage."
It's just the most awkward, great moment. So yes, very cool to see that reference to the movie put into this episode. And Dot is talking to a lot of people on the phone. I didn't list all the people.
So many.
Robert Redford, Michelle Pfeiffer,
Arnold Schwarzenegger. And one thing that it mentioned about Arnold Schwarzenegger was, I'll have to get that recipe. Yes, okay. Yeah.
Apparently, I guess this was around the time of Arnold Schwarzenegger and opening up Planet Hollywood with a couple of his Hollywood friends. Planet Hollywoods aren't really around that much anymore. I think they have one in New York and one in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Is there an ice cream truck?
There's an ice cream truck. We'll just wait for it to go by.
I want to get ice cream.
Okay, we'll break for the ice cream.
Okay.
While those two get ice cream, I'm going to tell everyone about the last Twitter poll and its results. Listeners were asked, who would not most likely be in love with today, since Mel Gibson is, Mel Gibson. Hashtag Animaniacs. 26% of the vote went to George Clooney. 33% went to Tom Hiddleston. But 41% went to the dashing and daring and Spielbergian Chris Pratt. Well, that's it for today's Twitter poll. Stay tuned for the next question later in today's episode.
Okay, we're back from getting ice cream. How's your ice cream, Nathan?
I dropped mine.
Aw, well, you can't have mine. So, actually, we were talking about a bunch of the different people that Dot was talking to. One of them was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and talking about a recipe that he got. Well, I guess his mom had a apple strudel recipe that was on the
It was on the menu.
The menu.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what that's referring to. Apparently, but he talks to one of the more abstract people, I think, that she talks to is Mr. Katzenberg, who is Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was one of the heads of Disney at the time, who's since gone on to be working in DreamWorks and various other things right there. So
DreamWorks sounds familiar to me.
Oh, what's that?
Because that's Steven Spielberg.
Oh, that's right. They started it off. It's a spinoff. Which their first...
The SKG is Spielberg, Katzenberg, and Geffen.
Oh.
I did not know that.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I think they removed the SKG, and it's been bought out by some other people now. I've kind of lost track of where it's at right now, but the three of them started the company together.
Oh, there you go. So yes, so there's a bunch of different.
Yeah, I think she talks to the president even.
Yes, the president was there.
Get back to work.
Yeah, was she talking to who? That was a weird part when she said "get back to work" because she kind of does a weird double take when Mel Gibson walks in. I think she's talking to the president to get back to work.
I think that's what
it almost sounded like she was talking to herself to get back to work. But I was like, that doesn't sound like Dot.
No, I think it was to the president, get back to work.
Get back to work, president. Okay. Yeah, so there's, some cute little, that was pretty much all the pop culture references. I think, well, other than like Mr. Plotz drinking out of a Batman mug. That was pretty much all the pop culture references that were kind of going by pretty quickly. But now we got all those out of the way. What are some of the best moments, some of the best lines? What are some things you guys really liked about this? I already talked about one, which was the typewriting scene.
Yeah, that's a great scene for the episode. I love the constant fight over who can answer the phone.
Yes.
Wacko, I never get to get...
I like that too.
I never get to get it.
There was a slight running gag, I suppose, of look over there. It was look. First it was look the horror, which is a reference to oh god, now I'm totally forgetting it.
Heart of Darkness.
Heart of Darkness, yes.
Which is later referenced in a future episode.
And then later they say, look, Wayne Newton. the Las Vegas lounge singer. So there's that running gag.
Someone with a big fanny. Is that what Wacko says?
Big fat fanny.
Yeah.
Look, it's a big fat fanny.
No one looks over at all. No one cares.
But I think all of them were I think each one of the Warners got a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Sometimes these episodes, like, oh, this brother, was the funniest, or Dot was the funniest, or whoever was the funniest. Each one of them, I think, was kind of equally spaced of having funny stuff to do.
Yeah. Even just the response to write me a letter. Like, each of them had a good...
Yeah. Or even like just the filing the papers thing. Each one was doing something that was equally funny at the same time. So that's cool to see that going on, being orchestrated in a certain way.
Yeah.
That's cool. I also like just little lines like, you'll never live to regret it.
I guess it wouldn't hurt for you to stay the day to help me out.
You'll never live to regret it.
Heaven help me.
That was cute stuff too.
I liked the way, I guess he did it twice in the episode, but Wacko said secretary.
Oh, yes.
And I just liked the way he said that. Yeah, I thought it was so cute.
Wacko is perhaps the most, like, he really did seem like the youngest of the three in this one. He really did seem like the little pouty kid in this that never seemed to get his way.
Writing letters to Santa, even.
Yes. I don't know what you want from Santa. I can't write you a letter. But then there's also that part where Thaddeus Plotz, he puts salt and pepper on Thaddeus Plotz's paperweight and immediately eats it.
I thought you needed us to be as secretaries.
Never! And give me back my paperweight.
Okay, but you have to wait a while.
Good night, everybody.
I really like that first cartoon.
Yeah.
Good animation.
Yeah.
Good jokes. The pacing was great. It had a good ending too. It kind of wrapped up nicely.
Wrapped up.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to segment 2. Nathan, what do you think? Segment 2.
Operation Lollipop.
Operation Lollipop. Now, this was written by Peter Hastings, and the director is unknown.
It's a little... I don't know.
I don't know. It is kind of weird. That really stood out. Like, oh, okay. Well, maybe because I read these now, but no one wanted to take credit for directing it. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Peter Hastings wrote and directed it.
Yeah, we'll say that. Peter Hastings, if you're listening, tweet us. Let us know for sure whether you wrote and directed it or just wrote it.
Yeah, because somebody did.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. So first of all, I'll just mention it, like I said before, that this is a Lassie kind of parody.
Mm-hmm.
The opening of it, where she's saying buttons, buttons, is very similar to Lassie. And, running, in the opening of Lassie, Lassie would jump over stuff to get to Timmy. And of course, in the opening of Buttons and Mindy, he jumps and
almost makes it.
Yes, goes right off the cliff.
Silly Buttons.
Yes. So Nathan, what can you tell us about Operation Lollipop? What is this basically about?
Well, this is the first Mindy and Buttons cartoon. So basically, Mindy is a little girl and Buttons is her dog. Mindy, let's say Buttons has to keep Mindy from getting in trouble, getting hurt, and Mindy happens to lose her lollipop on a mail truck, which then she gets stuck on the mail truck herself. Buttons chases her there and ends up on an airplane at one point, and then they're falling down and they end up back at home. Mindy's safe, but Buttons gets in trouble.
Yes, because it looks like he chased the mailman, because mail is all over the place from the plane they went on. And I gotta say, first of all, poor Buttons.
Yeah, I always feel bad for Buttons.
Because he does all this work and he always gets yelled at. Yeah. If anything, the mother should be...
Exactly.
Like, we should report this mother to CPS
Who puts a baby in charge of a dog of? Wait. Who puts a dog in charge of a baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Bad parent.
Yes. So we're going to call the cartoon CPS right after this recording, and we're going to take care of this right away.
Yeah, lady.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, did you know that Nancy Cartwright voices Mindy? Do you know who else Nancy Cartwright is? Is famous cartoon character. She's in charge of voicing.
I know.
I'll let
Kelly
Kelly answer.
Bart Simpson.
Bart Simpson.
Ah.
And I can totally hear it when it's when Mindy laughs. She has that little giggle, and it really does sound like Bart's laugh a little bit right there. That's the only time I can really tell. It's the same person doing the same voice. I think Nancy Cartwright, she does sometimes the voice of Maggie as well, whenever they need to do baby voices or something. So there you go. Well, what are your thoughts about this our introduction here to Mindy and Buttons with this Operation Lollipop?
I think it's a fine introduction.
It was cute.
Yeah.
It was cute. I mean, it's a very visual segment.
Yes.
And it's a very straightforward segment too. That lollipop is the stickiest lollipop I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't know how many artificial ingredients are in that lollipop. This is why it's good not to have high fructose corn syrup in candy.
Yep.
Because you can stick to the side of a mail truck if you're not careful.
Well, it's so hard that a baby can
Grip
hold on to it
and pull the entire time. I guess one of the things that I kind of pulled out, if I were going to pull out references, a lot of times they play for Buttons. They play variants of the song "Where Has My Little Dog Gone?" Whenever Buttons is trying to do stuff. And I guess and I have not been able to confirm this, but the music changes when Buttons is going up into the wheel well of that plane. And apparently it's the song "The Flying Dutchman" from the opera "The Flying Dutchman." And I listened to some of "The Flying Dutchman" today, and I could not.
You couldn't get...
I invested about 10 minutes and said, okay, I give up. But from people that are smarter than me, apparently, say that that's from "The Flying Dutchman." So there you go. So there are a few musical references that are cool. With segments like Mindy and Buttons, they rely more on the music just because there's not as much talking going on. That's kind of nice for the music to shine. But yeah, kind of a cute thing. Again, Mindy and Buttons they're not my top side character.
Yeah, I think Roger Rabbit does it better in those little short cartoons.
It is very similar to the setup of Roger Rabbit because you don't see the mom's head. Mm-hmm. You just kind of see her from below, and it's the beginning of those Roger Rabbit cartoons is the same.
Keep this baby safe.
Mommy's going to the beauty parlor, darling. But I'm leaving you with your favorite friend, Roger. He's going to take very, very good care of you. Because if he doesn't, he's going back to the science lab.
Please, don't worry. Whatever you say. Yes, ma'am. Aye, sir. Okie dokie. Why, I'll take care of him like he was my own brother. Or my own sister. Ow!
Although I would trust, again, but Roger at least talks and walks.
Yeah, he can walk and pick up things without using his mouth.
Yeah. Oh, boy. That mother.
Yeah. I do like some of the cute lines that Mindy says. Like, oh, I want to push the button. Like,
yeah, I like it when.
That reminded me of Tiny Toons.
With the elevator.
Because sometimes when I get in elevators, if I'm not reenacting parts from Ups and Downs, which is another future Animaniacs episode, I'll go, push the button, I push the button. Elevator go up, elevator go down.
No, I push the button. No, you push the button. I push the button. Now your turn, my turn. I push the button.
Okay.
I push the button. I push it. I push it again. I push it again and again and again and again.
Don't overdo it, Plucky. Once is enough.
Elevator go down the hall.
There's a glass elevator at the Tucson Mall.
Yeah.
That I always think of young plucky duck going, later go up to hold. But yes, a very similar kind of thing. And I do like that little thing where, Buttons is trying to get in to the airplane, and he opens the door, and he's just about to get in, and she just goes, cold, and then closes the door right on him right before he can get in. So yeah, it was cute. It was cute.
Yeah.
What else can I say? There you go.
Get the classic lines. She's got plenty of catchphrases, Mindy. Okay, lady.
Okay, lady.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Yes. My wife.
Silly puppy.
Yes.
Silly puppy.
Yes. Oh, okay, I love you. Bye-bye is my wife says that quite a bit.
Thank you, lady. I love you. Bye-bye.
So Mindy is very quotable because she doesn't really say that much.
No, so everything she says.
Yeah, so what she says, though, is very cute.
Mm-hmm.
So I will give her that.
I just was bothered by, everything the Lollipop touched, and then she still put it in her mouth. I was like, no. Yeah. It touched leaves and trees, and
I've seen kids eat dirt, though, and have no problems, though. I don't know.
I know.
Being an eldest brother, I've seen my little brothers and sisters eat so many different things that it's just kind of like, oh, stop that. Okay, gross. Okay, you're still alive.
Building up immunity.
Building up immunities.
Hello, listener. This is Jess Harnell, the voice of Wacko and Animaniacs, and you're listening to Animanicast, which is the best thing you could possibly listen to, especially if you're not wearing pants. I'd love to go on talking to you, but I can't because I've got a potty emergency. See you later.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to our last segment of today's episode, and that is called What Are We? And this was featured on the first Animaniacs soundtrack CD. The music and lyrics are written by Randy Rogel, and it's directed by Michael Gerard. Basically, Synopsis is Dr. Scratchansniff is once again trying to desanitize. This is an ongoing theme. He's done this at least half of the episodes, I believe, we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to figure out what are they, because he doesn't even know what they are to begin with. So they sing a song about what are they? Maybe they're this and maybe they're that. And they come up with a whole list of different types of animals. They're dogs or horses, or maybe they're seals or eels or bugs, and just different kinds of things. Cute song. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to sing. In fact, I for this recording, I watched it at least 2 or 3 times, and I listened to it so often on the CD that I kind of would sing all the parts.
Yeah.
And I still do, like, maybe electric eel, a seal, get real. Oh, wait a minute, I got it now. You do? Yes, I do. And I can do all those different things. I like singing this song. It's
catchy.
Yeah.
It is.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I sang
along when I watched it.
Yeah. I see. And there is one small variant at the very beginning, where Dr. Scratchansniff says,
No, what are you kidses? Look at you, with those ears and those tails. That's not normal. I mean, what are you? What are you kidses? Look at you, with those ears and those tails. That's not normal. I know normal. I mean, what are you?
That's what so it's a slight difference right there.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. But really, it's cool. What are your guys' thoughts on the song right here? What do you like about it?
I think they're cute.
That's it. That's what they are at the end, aren't they?
Yep.
They're just cute. Apparently, Tom Ruger has suggested that the Warners are merely toons, and their species is Cartoonus characteris. We do get this question quite a bit on Twitter and Facebook. What are these Warner Brothers anyway? Honestly, if I had to pick, I would say that the Warners are closest to dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe cats, but probably dogs.
I'd say dogs too.
I say penguins, obviously.
Well, I just remember from the Wally Llama episode, and he calls them puppy children. He's like, I'm hiding from the little puppy children. And so I tend to think of them as dogs anyway.
Yeah. Dot, it looks, actually, they really do match the look of some of the 1930s like foxes. There's this character, this fox. I'll go back to it later, but there's a character in the 1930s. There was Bosco, and there was some other old black and white Warner Brothers cartoon characters. But two of them were actually two black and white foxes, and they were on Tiny Toon Adventures one time. I totally forget what they're called. And now someone's on Twitter going to be showing me pictures, I'm sure, which is awesome. But I totally forget what they are. I had it in my head before. We'll talk about it later. But that's kind of what Dot looks like to me. But anyway.
Yeah, I can see foxes, monkeys, dogs, cats. I don't know.
But they're just tunes. When it comes down to it, they're
cute.
They're tunes and they're cute. So there we go.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Joey, calling in from the Amazon jungle. I'm not exactly sure how I got reception out here, but whatever. I don't care. I just had to put one more note in here for this episode this week. At one point, Dr. Scratchansniff and Yakko were having a conversation.
Are you still zany?
Only our hairdresser knows for sure.
And Yakko's reply right there is actually a reference to an old commercial from Clairol from the 60s, and I'm assuming it ran into the 70s, 80s, perhaps even the 90s, I don't know. But
her hair so soft and shiny, the color fresh, sparkling. Does she or doesn't she? Miss Clairol hair color looks so natural, only her hairdresser knows for sure.
There you go. There's your bonus pop culture reference for this week. Wasn't that awesome? Bye. Now I think I'm being stalked by a tiger, so I gotta go. Bye.
This week we have a brand new Twitter poll. Nathan.
What?
Yes, we're not stopping.
Okay. Well, we'll do it again.
We got to keep this interactive podcast going.
All right. Well, I have the next Twitter poll right here. It's going to be your choice. You, the listener, you are going to decide which of the three following mini segments are the best. Is the best? Is the best.
Is the best.
So we have good idea, bad idea. So if you remember that with Skullhead, Mr. Skullhead. There's also Mime Time.
Yes.
The next choice. And the Randy Beeman segments is the final choice. Which, do you remember those, Joey?
Yes, because he's a little kid.
Yeah. One time, my friend Randy Beeman. Yeah. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Anyways, yeah, so that's the Twitter. So go on to Twitter and you decide which one was the best one. And it's going to be finalized, and whatever the answer is, it's going to be the answer forever.
Forever. Very cool. All right. It's that time again. It's time, not for the Wheel of Morality, it's time for our Water Tower rating. Yay. So, we're going up to 5 water towers on this, as usual. Kelly, how many water towers would you give this particular episode?
I think I will give it 3.5. And because I really loved the temporary insanity. I thought it was a lot of fun. And like I said earlier, it had a lot of cool references and just so much packed in that one episode. And I love the What Are We song. I thought it was great. I did listen to it on my soundtrack an awful lot, and it is really cute and catchy. And I'm not the biggest fan of Buttons and Mindy, but it was a solid episode as far as that pair goes. And it does have cute little catchphrases, and you know, I mean, I still say, okay, love you, bye-bye, and that kind of thing. And I have dogs, so I'll say silly puppy to them a whole lot. So it endures. I mean, even if it's not my absolute favorite, it's still part of my life. And so it was a good solid episode. And there's still tons that I liked a lot more, and I'm waiting for some of those to come down. But yeah, 3.5.
Very cool. Nathan, what about you?
I'm also going with 3.5. Again, that beginning, that first segment's great. The Mindy's and Buttons, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of, but this was good enough.
Yeah.
And then the final song, they're all good segments, but nothing like wowed me off my feet, I guess. So.
Yeah. And we're going to make it in complete agreement right here. I'm going 3.5 as well.
Wow.
So there we go. This cartoon episode has a solid 3.5 out of 5, which is a very good, I think
we all liked it.
Yeah, we all
liked it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, and I like Mindy and Buttons. Honestly, I was kind of, when I saw Mindy and Buttons, I'm like, oh, Mindy and Buttons. Okay, whatever. We'll see how long this goes. But it was cute. I watched it, and it was cute. I got some stuff. So yeah, good stuff. Good beginning, solid ending, and a nice Mindy and Buttons right there. And one more reference I got to tell you guys before we go. At the very end, Dot says, "I can't think of an ending of this show," and Yakko says, in kind of a Groucho Marx-ish kind of way, like holding an invisible cigar, says, "I can't think of anything else." I had to stop what I was doing and say, okay, what is this? Like, what are they talking about? This is a reference to the Marx Brothers movie, Animal Crackers. And in this movie, Chico, who is the piano player, he's the quote-unquote Italian brother of them. He's playing a song, and he can't really get to a particular tune. He just kind of circulates in hits a tune like 5 different times. But I really thought about it, and I was like, the Warner Brothers are very much like the Marx Brothers. And I don't know how familiar. I'm somewhat familiar with the Marx Brothers. I've seen a few of their films. Kelly, have you seen any of the Marx Brothers films?
Only in passing. I think I stumbled across them a lot more when I was younger, and would catch them here and there. But I've never actually sat down and watched one all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen parts of Duck Soup, I think.
Yeah, Duck Soup. I think I've seen all of them. They kind of merge together a lot of Night at the Opera, Duck Soup, Horse Feathers. This particular one of Animal Crackers is pretty cute. But I started thinking, like, okay, obviously if Yakko is a Groucho, and Dot, I guess, could be Chico, and Wacko is very much Harpo character. Harpo is, of course, the silent one in the original Marx Brothers films. Harpo walks around with a big top hat and a horn, and he honks at people and stuff. And Wacko has a hat. He has a mallet or a bag. Kind of has his accessory with him. And both of them, both Wacko and both Harpo and Wacko, I should say, both do something called the Gookie. Now, right at the end, right there, the Gookie is when he's making that funny face.
Oh yeah,
he blows out his, and when Wacko did it a few times in this episode, at least once, like he blew out his tongue and stuff, and he did it, I think, once with Captain Mel. He just does that weird face.
Yeah.
That is totally, and I think he even calls it a Gookie a few times in the show. That is completely a reference right there to Harpo, because Harpo used to do exactly the same kind of a face, blew out his cheeks, put out his tongue, crossed his eyes, and called it a Gookie because, again, I'm going down rabbit holes. When Harpo Marx was a little kid, he knew this guy named Gookie who would cut stuff or prepare food and make a weird face while he did it. So Harpo made fun of him and so his friend said, do a Gookie whenever they were doing like vaudeville and stuff like that. And he would make that weird, funny face and it would get a laugh. So throughout the years, there you go. That's the origin of the Gookie and exactly what's going on. So there you go. There's your Marx Brothers history lesson for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Nathan. Check out the Marx Brothers, though, because I can't say this enough. I really hope that, especially for our younger listeners, check out the Marx Brothers, check out Laurel and Hardy, check out those folks, because you might think like, oh, it's black and white and they're not funny or whatever, but you can learn so much from watching those older films to see the origins of comedy and really learn a lot about the timing and about the stuff like that. So please check it out. That's my advice.
And when you watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Henry Jones Sr. says, I should have mailed it to the Marx brothers.
Yes.
You'd get the reference. And
Exactly.
Better.
Exactly.
That was my really bad Sean Connery impression.
I should have mailed it to the Marx brothers.
You know what I mean?
Yay, it's perfect.
It tells me that goose-stepping morons like yourself should spend more time reading books and less time burning them.
Oh, wow.
Let's go watch that movie right now.
Well, we're going to go
My
watch...
head just exploded. That was amazing.
Thank you very much.
Say, we named the dog Indiana. Come on, do it.
We named the dog Indiana.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I like my Sean Connery. But I remember my Charlemagne.
Yay.
I let my birds be the armies. Let my armies be the rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky. Something like that.
Yeah. You obviously do not remember your Charlemagne.
Whatever.
Oh.
I remember. You know what? That's what we got to do right now. We're gonna put an end to this episode, and we're gonna all watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yay!
Bye.
So before we do, let me just remind everybody out there, if you'd like to get in contact with us, there's many different ways to do it. We have Twitter, we have Facebook. Just go to twitter.com/Animanicast or facebook.com/Animanicast. You can email us. We're animanicast@gmail.com. You can, gosh, what else can they do to get in contact with us? Can they shout?
Yeah.
They can use the Force.
They can use the Force?
Try yelling out your window.
Yes. We have other contests, though, and everything going on. We had some fantastic responses to our Yakko's World contest so far, including Mr. Tom Ruger, the creator of Animaniacs, even sent us a picture of Yakko in his backyard. So if you would like to show a picture of Yakko or the Animaniacs or whatever, just go ahead and go to Twitter, put it up there, and put hashtag Yakko's World, and you can share it, and we'll make sure to retweet it to show all of our audience. Also, head on over to the iTunes store and enter in a review so that you can be entered in a contest for a bunch of different Animaniacs vinyl decals. And I'm even going to add another decal to the pot. That's right. You're not only going to get, if you win, all right, you will not only get a Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, a Pinky and the Brain decal, but you're also going to get a decal that says, put a brain in the White House. And it has the brain acting like Nixon. And it's actually based upon an old campaign they used to have in the Warner Brothers store for the Clinton-Dole election. They had bumper stickers, they had T-shirts, they had coffee mugs, they had all this different stuff. I know that we had the magnetic bumper sticker that we slapped on our parents' van.
Yeah. And
luckily we took it off and put it on something else because they were notoriously stolen by almost everybody. They were magnetic. But in fact, we talked to Maurice LaMarche about that, and he goes, "Oh, did you get yours stolen?" He said, "No." But so it's based upon that design. I figured, hey, we have a new election coming up. I might as well put it up and make my own right there. So you'll even get a Put a Brain in the White House vinyl decal as well. So how about that?
And you got pretty good odds of winning too.
Pretty good. No, because there's not many people. I might have to reopen it to say that me and Nathan might be able to actually win.
Oh, I hope so. So yeah, no one else entered.
So to do that, just go to iTunes, leave us a positive review, and you'll be in the running.
Well, I can't think of a way to end this episode.
I can't think of anything else.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds of the Animaniacs characters or any other Animaniacs-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Warner Brothers, Amblin Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animanicast unless otherwise indicated.
Time out.
When will this insanity end?
When one of us answers the phone, silly.
I did not know that.
Time in.